capital budget. So the general fund that we have, that's funded through property taxes. So every resident gets assessed their property value, multiplied by the tax rate, and they pay their property taxes each year. And that funds the general operations of the town. And then we have our wastewater utility. That is funded by user rates for only the residents that are connected to the utility. Within each of those, we have an operating budget. So this just funds the day-to-day operations that keep the town running, keep the pipes running down to the lagoon, that sort of thing. And then we have a capital budget. Now the capital budget, this is where the big ticket items are. This is the roads, equipment, all the infrastructure underneath the ground that no one can see, and then we have our lagoon down on Shannon Road. So there are really 4 budgets that we prepare each year. Lots of organisations have budgets. Private organisations have budgets. We're a public operation. And there's some key differences to how those budgets are prepared and the goals of the budgets. So a private firm, be it usually a business, their goal is to return a profit to their shareholders. So they'll build their budget in a way that tries to maximise their revenues, minimise their expenses, and come out with a return for its investors. Municipal budgets are a little bit different. We prioritise service and public accountability. So because of the operations that we have, it requires a certain level of redundancy. So we have plough trucks. We can't just have one plough truck, because if it breaks down, we can't plough the main road. So we have to have multiple plough trucks. We have to build that into the budget, and that adds to the cost of our operations. There's regulations we have to adhere to. We can't budget for a deficit. What that means is we can't budget to lose money. We have to budget to break even. And in recent years, there's been significant changes in respect to funding and our regional obligations. And we've had to roll with those punches and try to balance items out. So if we look at the year and a timeline of what preparing the budget looks like, here on the slide we start in May and we end in December, but I like to look at it as a year-round activity. We're constantly thinking about the budget, analysing the environment, what trends are developing, local, provincial, and across Canada within the economy. In May this year we started with our first budget survey, which was a great success, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later. June and July we have department meetings, so we meet with all the department heads, we go through the budget line by line. In August we sit back and reflect. Does this align with the strategic priorities? Pull the numbers together a little bit more, and then at the end of August we sit down with council and give them a really high overview of what the budget is looking like. September, things start to get a little busier. We have meetings like this, where we all get together and learn what our community partners need to help them succeed. And then in October, we really knuckle down and prepare for our public presentation that occurs at the end of October. The budget needs to be approved and submitted to the province by November 15th. So at the first council meeting in November, we'll bring forward the budget for council's approval. And then after submission to the province, there is back and forward and there's questions with the folks in Fredericton. They look into the numbers and they definitely ask us questions every year. So like I mentioned before, we conducted our first budget survey in May. I think it was very successful. We had 312 responses. It was a really good cross-section of the community. There was a mix of people that had lived here a long time, a little bit of time, and kind of in between. There was a really healthy mix between the residents of Ward 1 and Ward 2. It really mirrored the population in each ward. And there was a good mix of young and old. one of the questions that was asked in the survey was, what do you believe are your top 5 priorities within the town? So the top 5, this is no particular order: road safety, recreation, fire rescue services, parks and outdoor spaces, roads and sidewalks. And council has a number of initiatives underway currently that are working towards these priorities, and they really do line up well with the strategic priorities that council has laid out. Another question was, do you think the town should be maintaining or enhancing or reducing levels of service? And 69% of people said they want it maintained or enhanced. So we're going to take that feedback in. We came to council in June or July, I believe, and did an in-depth presentation on the budget survey. We factor all that feedback in when preparing the budget. Some of the assumptions that we've made going into the 2026 budget really our baseline one is, what is the cost of providing the same level of service that we currently have? That's our starting point. Then we look to incorporate any approved service level increases. Make sure that funding for strategic objectives is incorporated. And one of the things that we're really working towards is predictable tax load changes over time. We have some more slides on that towards the end of the presentation. Some of the challenges that we're facing for 2026 are limited new assessment growth. So this is new housing stock and buildings that will be assessed by Service New Brunswick. There's lots of construction going on Colonel Nace, which is really good to see, but it's construction. It's still underway. It's not finished. Once buildings are finished, then they get assessed by Service New Brunswick, then it comes into our assessment base. There is a provincial assessment freeze, so all current property owners are not having their assessment values change for the 2026 tax year. And we do have future obligations, and by that we're talking about future asset replacement obligations that we have to be mindful of. We have almost $30 million net value of assets, and we can't sit around and wait for those assets to be at the end of their useful life before we work out how we're going to pay for their replacement. It has to be something we're constantly working on. There are some opportunities though. In 2024 we had a $460,000 surplus, so that will circle back to us as a revenue item for 2026. We still have the Housing Accelerator program underway. This was a federal program that we were granted just over $1 million for. So this is primarily aimed at increasing housing in the community. So we have a number of initiatives underway with that funding, and really we need to leverage and maximize the value we get from that funding. We all know that people need housing, and housing is becoming more expensive and harder to get, but it really has an exponential effect on the community, because not only will we see increased tax revenue because we have more houses, but we'll have more people in the community. When we have more people in the community, we have a greater need for businesses, and it just snowballs from there. So we're really trying to get the maximum we can out of our Housing Accelerator funding. And then we have new equipment. We've been lucky enough that council has granted us money over the past, earlier this year, for some new equipment for the Works Department. There was 2 new pickup trucks. The guys love those pickup trucks. They're running, they've got all the right attachments on them, and it just makes their job so much more efficient. We have a new backhoe coming. The old backhoe is not working more than it is working. And when something isn't working, you can't do much with it. So the fact that we'll have new equipment that doesn't break down as much is a huge boost. There are some longer term budget challenges. I talked about new assessments. It takes time. It doesn't just happen overnight. It takes time for buildings to be developed and occupied and assessed, and then for us to see that tax revenue. We have seen a dramatic increase in costs for contracted services. We talk about it a lot, but snow and ice control, that was a number of years ago now. You know, we went from a $650,000 bill to over $1 million, possibly over $1 million bill, which is a huge jump. So we've really invested in our own people and our own equipment, and we're seeing the dividends now. Some of the patching work on the Route 177 that you would have seen our own employees perform, you know, they could do that at about half the cost of a contractor. If we were to hire someone to come in and do that same work, it would have been twice as much as what it cost for us to do it. So it really is becoming, you know, more cost effective for us to do our own in-house work. And we have some long-term capital obligations. I mentioned before, value of assets. It needs renewing. We have the Public Works Garage that's in the design phase, and that will come online in a few years. And there are some significant cash obligations that are out there. So we have a budget for 2026, but we also project that budget out. So we can look out to 27, 28, 29, and kind of see, you're making some assumptions what the future looks like. And with that, we can look at, okay, what does tax increases look like for residents into the future? So bear in mind, these are very high-level draft numbers. These will change slightly, but it gives us a general overview, an idea of the direction that we're heading. So we can see that we'll be looking at tax increase somewhere around 4% for 2026. We could probably maintain the same for 27, but then 28 looks like a challenging year. So the value of looking at forecasted numbers like this is, well, okay, 28 is going to be a challenging year. What's causing that challenge, and how can we mitigate that effect? So administration is working on some ideas to try to mitigate that, and we'll be bringing them forward in the coming months to council on how we can kind of smooth out that line a little bit. We also have a 5-year capital plan. So we look forward 5 years, what are all the vehicles that need replacing? What money can we allocate to roading projects? What other infrastructure might need replacing? You know, we know there's a lift station. I don't exactly remember the number, but there is a lift station that within the next couple of years is due to have the pumps replaced. So we need to be mindful of those things and be aware of them. So if we look forward out into the future, we can see that the increased money we allocate to capital is going to need to increase. This can come from a number of places. We allocate money from our operating budget. We can borrow from the province through debentures. We have reserves we can utilise. But we can see that it's going up over time. I mentioned debentures and borrowing from the province. So for some items, we just don't physically have enough money to outlay the cash to fund those items. For example, the Works Garage, it's going to be an over $6 million project. We don't have $6 million. So we're going to borrow and then pay back over time. So that gives us some debt servicing obligations. And one of the metrics that we know Council has been monitoring closely is the percentage of our expenses that are going to pay debt. So right now, 2025, we're around 6%. So that means for every $100 we bring in revenue, 6 cents goes to paying debt. That's going to climb over time to 12%. as some new facilities come online. We'll get deeper into the numbers when we do the public presentation. There's some reasons behind that. It looks like a steep incline, but it's explainable. So, what are the next steps for the 2026 budget? So October 27th, we'll have our public budget presentation. Then we have that public feedback period after that, where members of the public, if they have questions, thoughts, ideas, bring them forward. November 10th, we will bring the budget to council for approval. And then by November 15th, we have to have the budget submitted to the province. If there's any residents at home that have watched this and they have any questions, we're always open to questions or explanations or ideas if they have any ideas as well. So please reach out. That's our contact information. And thank you for listening. If you have any questions, we'll be happy to answer.
Thank you so much, James. Are there any questions? We really appreciate you coming forward, and I know council gets all this information, but I think it's really important that our public groups get it as well. I'm confident because there's a lot of things that go into the budget and into future projections, so it's nice to know all the parts there. Right, so on the motion on this one is that the council of the town of Bay-Westfield receive and file this information. All in favor? Motion's carried. Alright, so now we can move on to the presentation. So the first one on our list is the YMCA of Southwestern Project. And we have Jennifer Eames, the development officer, to welcome Jennifer.
Thank you for having me. Excited to be here to kind of show you the Y in your community. We made the name change to Southwestern New Brunswick back in January 2024. We were previously YMCA of Greater St. John, but we do serve Sussex and St. Stephen. I'll get into that in a little bit. I just wanted to first say thank you. You have made a couple of contributions to our YMCA, sending some kids to camp just this past summer, and also to helping us create the Glen Carpenter Center into an outdoor education center. That has opened. We're now moving into the fall. We had a very successful summer. Wanted to share a quick story that came across my desk today. We had a counselor that did a fishing camp this summer, and he's been a counselor at the Glen Carpenter Center for a number of years. And I don't know if you've ever been in the lodge at the Glen Carpenter Center, but up on the wall is a trout, the biggest trout caught in New Brunswick. And it was caught by the Blissed Family who previously owned the center. And this counselor actually caught the next largest fish now in the lake, and they cooked it up and fed it to the children. So he is getting a little blown up picture and a little plaque from, I'm not sure what center that says that he officially caught the biggest center around New Brunswick. So who we serve, last year we had 89,000 connections to our YMCA. And that's just programs and services that are happening from Sussex to St. Stephen. For the town of Bay-Westfield, residents take part in a number of Y programs and services, childcare, camp services, member services, swimming lessons, our Rainbows program, and recreational program as well. A lot of people don't know this about the Y, but I wanted to share some of our focus areas. Many people think that the YMCA is just a gym, a fitness center, but this is everything that we're currently doing in our community. Poverty reduction is a huge piece. We have 2 early childhood hubs in the south and north end of St. John. We have a home delivery program that came out of COVID. We have one volunteer who does our home deliveries 4 days a week and has been doing it for the last 5 years. He has done 5,000 home deliveries from the food bank since then. So he basically goes to each food bank each day that they're open. He has a list of people that he has to take them to, and he delivers them to them. And these are people that have mobility issues or just can't get to the food bank for whatever reason. We're seeing, single moms with a number of kids. The boxes are about 20 pounds, so it's hard to maneuver, especially if you don't have transportation. Inclusivity is a huge part of our YMCA. We want to make sure that everyone is included and that there's access for all. Chronic health is a huge piece of our YMCA right now that we're really focused on. We want to be known as preventative healthcare. We want to help those with chronic health issues. We just did our first cohort of a pilot project on mobility, where doctors are referring their patients to the YMCA. They are getting a 3-month membership and learning how to better move their bodies, help with cholesterol, help with high blood pressure. And we just had an amazing success story come out of the last 12 weeks. Of course, we were economic barriers, social isolation, that's huge for not only our newcomers, but our older adults as well, and then mental health. Because if you're working on your physical health, you are working on your mental health, but we do have some mental health programs as well that we do in the community. So our community impact and need, just for, because I'm going to get into some of that mental health, but 38% of youth are saying that their mental health is good to excellent. So the other portion are saying that they're struggling a little bit. In the last 5 years, our Strong Communities Fund, which is our annual campaign fund, has gone from $525,000 to $825,000 this year. We're seeing it grow substantially to the point that it's going to be over $1 million in the next 2 years that we need to raise funds in our communities to continue providing these programs and services to those that need it the most. Last year, we were able to provide assisted or sponsorship to over 4,000 people within Sussex to St. Stephen. The Rainbows program is one of our mental health programs, and the one reason why I'm sharing this one with you tonight is because this is a program that actually happens right here in Bay-Westfield. This past winter, it was at Grand Bay Primary. We had 5 students take part in it. So Rainbows is a mental health program. It is coordinated through the YMCA for the last 25 years, and it's facilitated by guidance counselors in community schools. So the guidance counselors get actually trained by our coordinator to be able to run this program. It is a peer-to-peer support group for children that are dealing with crisis such as losing a parent. We've had children that, a parent might be in jail, to the, even a family pet has passed away. So, children deal with all these different types of emotions. But what this program does is builds them up so that they have coping mechanisms that they can carry with them throughout life. So a little bit about what we need for Rainbows. Rainbows is free, there's no cost. We fundraise for it every year for our community. It's about $42,000 each year to run this program from Sussex to St. Stephen. We had 300 participants from the whole region in the last year. $1,000 allows us to support 10 children here in Bay-Westfield. We're averaging about 7 to 10 children each school session for that. And it supports and helps ensure no child faces grief or loss alone. So it's a really important program. And that's all I really wanted to share with you tonight. I just wanted to kind of hope that you see the why in your community. And if you had any questions for me.
Does anybody have any questions for Jennifer?
Great, thank you.
Yes. What you're asking for from us?
I was hoping $1,000 just to support that Rainbows program specifically. It's we're having a few areas that we're struggling with making sure that we have funding for right now is after school and Rainbows. So we don't really have after school or people attending after school in this area, but Rainbows is very important. Yeah, great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it. Motion on this one, the council of the town of Bay-Westfield receive this as information for our budget discussion. All in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. Move on to the next one, the RBCC, Development Center. Everybody has been great tonight on presentation. We do have a 10-minute limit, but everybody's been perfect. I just wanted to remind you of that one as well.
Excellent.
Okay.
10 minutes will be
10 minutes.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me. And I want to extend my thanks, as I'm sure everyone does, for the continued support of the Rural Community Center from the town and town council as well. So looking forward to another great year. Our ice is going in, we started today, so it's an exciting time. So on this, we're going to talk about the past year's financials, 2024, give an update on this year's financials of 2025 as of June 30th, and then an outlook into our 2026 budget, our overall ask. So some of the notable financials that we have here, our ice rentals in 2024 were $244,000. We had fundraising of $40,000, which was a lot made up of Chase the Ice. Our room rentals, $54,000. A good portion of that came from the rentals we had from Blossoms that are in there. We got a grant from the landfill, the CMEI grant, that we used. What we used that for, to be quite honest, because I wasn't working there. Canteen sales, $40,000, and of course our town funding last year, $96,000. Expenses, our major expenses were our payroll, $209,000, maintenance, $133,000, and utilities, which was made up significantly of our energy bill, $157,000. So it looks, as you can see, we ran a deficit of $18,000. The 2025 financials, as you can see right here, this is as of June 30th. We had ice rentals, $116,000, fundraising $33,000. Room rentals again as well. Canteen sales and our funding, that town funding of course is just 2 of the 4 payments that we get from the town. And again, our expenses, payroll, maintenance, and utilities that show there are as our major. We also, not included on that maintenance, in July we had updated all the lights in our arena, so 57 lights over the ice surface and bleachers, as well as all lights brand new in the dressing rooms and common areas downstairs, not in the lobby, but all downstairs and stuff. And that was help paid for by the grant from the landfill again, to the tune of about $22,000. And so as we look forward to 2026, this is kind of what we've got budgeted for our notable revenues. Ice rentals, $240,000. Some of that, as well as the Community Cup, which is the annual tournament that we run at the end of the season, which is, we're looking to probably make about $9,000. Fundraising, $28,000. We budgeted $20,000 in there for Chase the Ace, which sometimes can be tough, but we do have that in there. Room rentals, $57,000. We're expecting another grant from the landfill of $20,000, and our canteen sales of $32,000. Notable expenses, payroll, it's going to creep up to $186,000. We have equipment budgeted for $15,000. That's repairs and maintenance on our Zamboni. Maintenance and supplies, $135,000. Overall maintenance, both of the building and the ice plant, to make sure that we continue to support and provide ice for the town. Our heat and power has gone up to $163,000, which we're going to talk about in a moment, as well as our cleaning contract. Currently, we don't have a cleaner, and we would like to add that to our what we have. So as I go forward, I talk about a little bit about the asset outlook. We do have some key maintenance coming up in 2026 that we'd like to perform to help just maintain our arena, both in a brine pump as well as renewing some plates, chiller plates. So it's regular maintenance that's been recommended to us by the service provider, Simco. Our major, I apologize, I didn't say what I was requesting. Our funding request this year is $145,200, which is up $30,000 from last year. The major components that go into that 30,000 is we're expecting about a $15,000 increase in our power rates. So last year we budgeted 148,000. This year we budgeted about 163,000. So that's just from the 10% increase on NB Power that came into effect on, I believe, April 1st. So just trying to keep up and maintain that. And another major increase in on our budget again is our cleaning contract. Currently we have our rink staff providing cleaning of all the bathrooms, the common areas, lobby and everything, and we'd like to be able to bring in an outside contractor to be able to perform that and take some load off our rink attendants and provide a pretty good service. It would be the same contractor that the town uses, and I've heard very good things, so we're hoping to have that as well. Again, I just wanted to say thank you again for the continued support of the River Valley Community Center, and I'm looking forward to fostering a strong community together for years to come. Thank you very much. Any questions?
As far as the room rentals go, are they rented every night?
So the room rentals specifically, obviously we have a long-term tenant in Blossoms. They rent the entire downstairs that used to be the gym that was there. So that's how I knew it. At least it was the gym. And then also a back room upstairs off the lobby behind our Weber room. So they're in there 24/7. They pay a monthly rent. They don't ever leave. They're great. We have our Weber room, which is rented currently right now. I believe it's Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays to a dance studio or a dance company that provides youth dance, as well as Tuesdays and Sunday nights to a gentleman that provides Taekwondo. And currently right now, Thursday night, it is rented to KB Boxing, who's providing their second 8-week program out of the River Valley Community Center. And he's had some great success as well, and maybe open to renting that room more because he's had a good, a positive response in the community for that. So.
One more question. I have no idea, but are there any grants or anything out there for power bills for nonprofits?
Not that I'm aware of, but I can look into that some more, and I can certainly send an email out. I have not heard of any, but I can certainly look into that.
One more question.
Yes.
As far as fundraising goes, any other fundraising ideas to try to bridge that gap with what you're asking for?
So again, we have Chase the Ace, which if it keeps going, could be really lucrative. We do have our Rock the Rink, as well as a couple other smaller fundraising ideas. Anything new and revolutionary I haven't yet, but certainly opened us some ideas, and I've been in the job a few months, and always willing to try and do better and bring more things in.
Thank you.
Hi, thank you, Brad, for your presentation. I just had a question regarding the summer when there's no ice on the rink.
Yes.
What do you do with that space? Are there activities or programs that happen?
Yes, there is. Yes. So a gentleman in the community rents it 4 nights a week, plus Sundays, for a youth ball hockey league that he runs. Yeah, that begins in the beginning of May, almost as soon as we remove the ice, and runs right until the middle of July. We also have a ladies ball hockey league that runs over there 4 nights a week as well. Excuse me. And then this year we were fortunate enough to host 2 lacrosse tournaments, which was a huge success as well. Really great sales from our canteen, and having lots of people in the building when it's not a nice rink is really awesome. I'm hoping to increase that this coming year. Excuse me again. the lacrosse people really enjoyed it. There is also a gentleman that's approached me about holding a roller hockey league, so I don't know everything about that yet, but he's hoping to maybe rent some space as well. So the space is used in the evenings and weekends. So weekends are a bit tough because, at least that I found in my short tenure here, because people are away a lot on the weekends in the summertime. So there isn't a big apt for people to rent, but certainly going to try and increase that.
So maybe would there be opportunities during the week, during the day, for maybe youth programs or different groups that might want to rent?
There absolutely is. I forgot, and Stephanie was probably going to correct me. We also do host a pickleball league. We did it, I believe, was it 3 days a week or 2 days a week during the day this year, and a day once ball hockey was done, we did it in the evenings as well. So, and there's definitely some room. It's not unlike ice rentals during the year, during the day, where it's tough because people are at work and stuff. Youth programs are definitely an option, and that kind of ties into our day camp that we run for 8 weeks in the summertime as well. The kids use that space quite heavily. That's our internal. But I mean, if I could find some other youth programs that would want to use it during the day, would definitely be open to that and try.
Thank you.
Hi. I've heard a rumor through the community that Blossoms is building a building.
They are.
And so what happens with that rental and revenue that you
So
normally
that's a great question, actually, and I asked the same thing. It will be unchanged because Blossoms currently runs their daycare, so kids from age 1 till school age, downstairs and as well in that room upstairs. All those kids will now be going to the new building up by the Wesleyan Church up on Ridgeway. But they're actually going to keep this space because they rent from the Wesleyan Church right now to run their after school and before school programs. Mm-hmm. So I believe they have drop off at 7, and then the kids get on the bus, and then they bring them back and are there open till 5:30, I believe. So they're actually going to be moving out of the Wesleyan Church and moving their after school and before school programs to the rink. So they're keeping the same rental, same space, same everything, same revenue.
You have got to have a golden horseshoe.
Yeah, no, I was worried, but no, they love the space, and they as far as I know, they are not moving out. I've had several conversations with Sam, so it's good.
So you're taking and wanting to have a cleaning service.
Yes.
I have no issue with that. However, my concern is the staff that are doing it now.
Yes.
If you look at the hours that they spend doing it, they no longer have to do it.
Yeah.
So what are they going to be doing?
So it will allow them to, in the summertime, do more maintenance, spend more time doing maintenance and painting, and allow us to utilize them that way. As well in the wintertime, again, I haven't been there during an ice season, but I'm in talking with them. They find it tough cleaning the ice, cleaning the dressing rooms, getting up, cleaning the bathrooms, the lobby and everything, especially if it's a busy night. Say we have a large hockey game on or something like that. It's something that can be lacked. They will still be doing that in between cleaning up and tidying up. This is going to be more of a deeper clean. We're hoping probably 3 days a week to make sure that everything is good and clean for the public to use.
From the old lady on council who worked for a very long time, I encourage you to look up Parkinson's Law.
Parkinson's Law.
Yes, and review it.
Okay.
Any other questions? Thank you very much for that.
Problem. Thank you.
That's the motion passes that the council of the town of Bay-Westfield receive as information for discussion. on to D, which is Westfield and District Recreation Association. And we have Samantha Weldon, the treasurer, and Stacy Doyle, vice president. Thank you both.
Thank you for having us and allowing us to present tonight.
Thank you. I'm Stacy Doyle. I'm the Vice President of the Westfield and District Recreation Association. This is Samantha Weldon, our trustee treasurer. So we're just gonna kind of be working together today to provide the presentation. We decided to step it up a little bit this year, get all fancy with a PowerPoint. But we usually just have like our newsletter, but we thought we'd kind of provide more visuals this year, like some of the amazing events we've been having over the past few years, and especially like the last year. So we'll probably just run through kind of an overview of the things that we did the last year, some ideas that we have for next year and into the future, and then Samantha can go through our budget with you. So basically, we were incorporated in 2010 as a nonprofit association. Our mandate is to provide recreation opportunities to residents of all ages. We are a volunteer board. We have 7 members. We do have representation from youth. We have the president, vice president, treasurer, secretary, and then a few other awesome board members. Membership to the association is free and open to the community. We have a yearly annual general meeting that's also open to any members, and they can also vote at the AGM. Our funding is a combination of provincial, from the town, and also various grants that we go for throughout the year. Thank you very much for your ongoing support. Also, a lot of the promoting our events and all that, really love working with the town of Grand Bay. Is it red light? Do I just?
Who's
There we go.
next to the word?
Oh, okay.
I had the same problem.
That's okay. This year we did Learn to Skate, so it was a 6-week program. It was very successful at the rink. We had people coming from all over as far as Quistampsis to participate, and so that's something we want to build on, continue to be able to offer in the community. Lovely outdoor activity, and one of our board members, Jennifer, was instrumental in making that happen, so thank you, Jennifer. Kids in the Kitchen is another event that we would like to continue to offer that we ran out of the Nerepus Kitchen, the Nerepus Baptist Church Kitchen, and super duper fun, and the kids really enjoyed themselves. We also had the gym available, and so it's great to partner with the Nerepus Baptist Church. They're really open to like allowing us to use their space. Appreciate that. Yeah, the rink. So the rink had a lot of stuff going on, but one of the really exciting things was the Meet the Sea Dogs. We had to kind of cancel and then rebook a couple of times based on weather, but it worked out in the end, and we're excited to be able to offer that to our community. Another big event that we like to have every year is our Dirt Road Christmas Parade. So this year we have plans for November 22nd. Just a lovely country parade event that we have. Last year we also had a DIY Yule log workshop, which we would like to run once again, thanks to some lovely volunteers in the community. And of course, Winterfest that we have every year continues to grow, lots of excitement. We usually end up having pretty good weather, so we've been lucky so far. Wouldn't be able to do it without our volunteers and the community support as well. And of course, the fire department for getting the ice up and going. So we really appreciate that. Gingerbread house making is another one of our Christmas time events. We plan on doing it again this year. And then we have our sports. Pickleball is very, very popular. We have badminton, and as well. Just let me know if I'm missing anything here. It's a little bit of all over the place, but it's just kind of a really wide variety of different things. So snowshoeing at Lone Water, such a lovely space to be able to utilize and get people out. We also did an Easter egg hunt, a candy trail at Lone Water this year, and that was really fun. It was a beautiful spring day. A couple of chocolate bar bingos that we're hoping to do again. And then Witches in the Water, which is coming up soon. That. Spike ball is new this year. I'm thinking that was pretty popular with some of the younger folks. We had a last class bash. People brought their notebooks and papers and burned them and did marshmallows and ran around and played games. It was pretty exciting. There was music and had to stop a couple of them from throwing their full book bags right into the fire. And then just most recently, you probably heard about the Four Corners Music Festival and Market. Very highly attended, very successful. That was all community volunteer driven with our support. We really appreciated that event, and I think the community really loved it too. So really good feedback on that. A little bit of skating. Basketball is another one of the adult recreation sports that we support. We are planning to run a Learn to Play softball session this fall, so that's sort of still in the works, so stay tuned for that. We're hoping to do some tennis lessons for maybe the spring or summer next year. We would, now that we have some storage at the rink, like to be able to lend skates and helmets to people who come that don't have them. I think helmets especially, I mean you need the skates, but the helmets for the children and the people that are skating is something that seems to be a need. We'd also like to have a little library there, so we're looking into how do we build one. We do have power at our storage facility, our container there, and that's very exciting. So our new goal is to add a container and a roof for more storage. We would like to be able to run a canteen out of there when we have events or skating. It's just some shade, shelter, that kind of thing. So we're looking to really be able to build on that, maybe have a little bit of a deck underneath. And some more seating as well for the rink. We did find with the music festival, seating was a little short, and so anytime that we're running events there, just have a little bit more seating. The picnic tables are wonderful, but they're really hard to move around. They're really heavy. That was the point when we got them, but I guess that's it for the fun stuff.
Yeah.
And so I will pass it on to Samantha to finish off with the budget.
Great, thank you. So as you can see, we ran a lot of events last year, a lot more than we had in previous years. This year, we're looking for the same amount of money from the town, $8,910, and that's just basically for our operating expenses that we incur over the year. So everything's really the same as prior years in terms of expenses. The only ones I would highlight is our utilities. So our power, we estimate it's gonna go up around $50 a month because we now have actual power there. We never had power before, which is really exciting. So when we're running events, it's gonna be a lot better. The other thing that we've added in is a porta potty. So we would like to have a porta potty on site from December to March when the ice is on the rink because it's quite busy there. So
just for the public's use, we're hoping. And as Stephanie, Stacy, as Stacy mentioned, we'd like to have more seating at the arena, not only for events, but for people who are putting their skates on, because we don't have any room there, and those two concrete picnic tables are really cold in the winter to sit on. So we would like to have that. And our container village, we did get another grant for a second container that should be coming by the end of the year, so we'll have two, and we're hoping to put a roof over it. So yeah, that's all that's changed this year. As you can see, that we do have lots of events planned for 2026, and we have just a few ideas. We are looking into a grant, something we'll highlight. We're looking to do a trail at the Four Corners right down to the river, which is a 3-kilometer hike there and then back. So that is currently a big grant we're looking into, but we haven't finalized anything yet. So yeah, any questions? Yes.
Thank you so much for your presentation. I just have a couple questions. Do you have any kind of an idea, or have you got a quote for the roof? Do you have any idea what that might be just yet?
I believe one of our volunteers has looked into it. I will mention that with the Four Corners Music Festival, they were fundraising for to put a roof over, so they did. I think they brought in $2,200, which is nice, and they're hoping to do it again this year to help with the cost of the roof. So that's kind of where we're hoping to get the funds for the roof. But I think it was around $6,000 for the trusses, but I would have to check with the volunteer who's looking into that. But that's kind of where we're hoping to raise our funds through these music festivals. We're not sure that the roof is going to be done this year. It's just kind of, an idea that we would like to have. Yeah.
And just one other question. When you use the basement in the church, do they charge a fee, or do you make a donation to the church, or how does that work?
We make a donation to the church is what we do, yeah.
So there's no set amount, they don't?
Not for that, no, we just make a donation to the church.
Yeah, they usually have a volunteer there to let us in, and they hang around while we're doing our activities, and so we like to just give a token of our appreciation for that as well.
I'd like to compliment you guys for all the things you're doing up at the Four Corners. And I've heard nothing but positives about the Music Fest.
Oh, that's amazing.
That
So nice to hear.
I see it on the community page, and I've met people in the community that have commented on it. So thank you very much, and please take that back to your volunteers.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for that. That's wonderful to hear, yes.
Sometimes
We're really excited
you don't hear what people are saying.
Right.
And that's, you'll hear about it if it's bad, but if it's good.
Yes, you will. Yes, no, that's amazing. Thank you so much for that.
And we wouldn't be able to do it without the support of the town and the community and our amazing volunteers as well.
Yeah, yes, we really appreciate it.
Well, thank you both, and we all love seeing what so thanks a lot for
Thank
for us.
Thank you so much.
The motion is that the council of the town of Bay-Westfield receive as information or object discussions. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Right, motion is carried. Thanks, everyone. So we have a very patient final presenter. So we have Corey Ryan for the Royal Canadian Baby Fresh 22 mission.
Thank you, everybody, for having me tonight. So tonight I'm going to present on basically upgrading the electrical cabinet currently at the veterans. These are just a couple of pictures initially of what the park looks like now and a few things we've already done. Monuments, as you probably noticed lately, the first monument is missing. That is in St. Stephen right now, getting the backside engraved with, I think, another 15 names. Last week, the contractor was down and engraved names on all the other 4 that were added this year. So I think we added another 25 names in the contract. So why upgrade the electrical cabinet? Basically, there's 3 reasons that we really have. One is security. Right now, we're in a plywood cabinet with a padlock on it and a gap about that wide in the front. We have expensive equipment in there that needs to be secured. I mean, we've been lucky so far, but the module for the lights that we have at the park is in the range of $20,000. The appearance, we've done a lot of upgrades to the park now. And it's just another step to upgrade it to make it look a little bit better other than the black painted plywood eyesore on the back. And finally is to use it as a means of wrapping it and recognizing all the sponsors that have made it possible to the park to where it is today. That's your current setup of the electrical cabinet.
So to date, one question,
Randy?
and I'm not waiting until,
That's okay.
well, you've got that up on the screen. So to date, you haven't had vandalism?
No, we haven't. No.
Okay.
The new cabinet is an all aluminum cabinet. It would be mounted on the current 4x4 posts that are there. The power meter mounted on the side of the cabinet. So it's all electric, all aluminum, locked and secured for watertight as well. The cost of that cabinet is $5,800 plus tax. Okay, that includes full scope of work. I'll send the scope of work over to you, to the CAO. I did give a copy of it tonight, and I'll send it electronically to you as well. That scope of work includes, they estimate probably about 20 hours in total for about 2 electricians doing work. Disconnecting all of the current electrical inside, the power meter, the permits from NV Power, and reconnecting everything back up.
So the cost is that for the cabinet and the electricians?
And all the permits for NV Power. So really the partnership on this type of project that I'm asking is for the town to cover the cost of the cabinet, and Legion will cover the cost of getting a custom wrap on the cabinet to include the names of all the sponsors and some kind of graphics that would, whether it's poppies or something like that, that would fit the atmosphere of the Veterans Peace Month. So again, that's our ask that that the town would cover the $5,800 plus tax, and the Legion cover the cost of the custom wrap. Thank you. Any questions?
Looks upgraded, looks nice to have it all clean, when the new cab looks better with the look of the whole situation now, so I think it's a great idea.
And one of the things that we always told the sponsors through the whole project was that we would have some means of recognizing them there, similar to down at the rink where there's a big sign that recognizes everybody that we have possible.
How much is the wrap?
I don't know how much the wrap is. I didn't that's here to our static, but that's something that the Legion would cover.
Have you been successful in getting grants from CMEI? Is it?
Yeah, we've got grants every year from CMEI. I'll email that to you tomorrow.
This motion is that the council of the town of Bay-Westfield receive as information for budget discussions. Mover, Councilor Bill, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is carried. Thanks, everyone. I guess that finishes all our presentations, so thank you all. We really appreciate take this into consideration when we go forward with the budget discussions, and we love to see what's going on, and all people who are bringing such amazing ideas to our town, so we really appreciate it. Council, come back to your chair, I guess you're relegated to